Good day, and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video, we're going to talk about primal storms, and what are primal storms, and basically, how can they help you. So if you look on your map at any given time, you might notice that there's a very strange little indicator, an elemental storm. And basically, what this means is if you go to that area, the enemies in this area have a chance to drop a couple currencies. So these currencies are called elemental overflow, and also have the ability to drop items that can give you items called or currency called storm sigils. So we'll go to one of these areas so that you can see what I mean. But to engage in these primal storms, you're going to want to come to this area here. So if you go to this area and you obviously take a look, you will see that there are two kind of characters. There's Rethelshi and there is Mithresa. Mithresa and Rethelshi are both vendors, and Rethelsi, she will give you actually a quest that you can do each week called Storm Surge. And what Storm Surge requires is for you to get 75 elemental overflow. And if you complete this, you will receive one Storm Sigil. Rethelsi, will also tell you where you can find Storm Sigils by procuring items, or what are called primal cores, from the enemies within the storm. And then also will tell you which primal cores you have handed in. Now there are 4 types of elemental storm: air, water, fire, and earth. You can find whichever 2 are up on your map at any given time. So for example, if there's a fire one up currently during this time, and there is an elemental storm of air up as well, the other 2 won't be up, and then they will alternate, and they will replace each other quite frequently. In terms of vendors and what you can get from this event, well, there's a couple things. So you can grab some pretty good gear, 359 gear. Now there's 2 benefits to this gear, and we'll talk about it. But first, let's talk about what else you can get. Stormy, which is a companion, Ghost Flame, which is a companion, and Stormhide Salamander, which is a pretty cool looking mount. All of these can be achieved by farming elemental overflow. Now the gear, the interesting thing about the gear, and I'm going to buy a piece just to show you guys, the gear can be upgraded. Now you can procure no rings and no trinkets from this vendor. Those you can achieve by completing a slightly different variation of the Elemental Storm event, which is the Primalist's Fury event. And that's a weekly event. It's not a weekly, it's a frequent event that pops up on your world map. It's a bit different to this, but let's focus on this for now. So you have the Handguards of Raging Tempest, for example, and let's just say I want to replace these feet of mine. Perfect. Let's say we want to replace my feet, which are 379. So we buy here my feet. They will cost me 350 elemental overflow. Once you buy these actual feet, an interesting thing will occur. If you walk over to Rethelshi, you'll be able to. Oh wait, I've screwed this up. Where do you upgrade these now? Have I lost my mind? I believe I have. I think you upgrade them in here. Nope, nope. I'm just going mad. I'm going absolutely insane. I've lost my mind. Yes, you can procure them from her, but she is not. She is not showing anything viable from her. It's a bit strange. But usually what would happen is you'd be able to buy a piece of gear, and then you can come to Rethelsi and you'll be able to upgrade that piece of gear to 389, which is obviously something that's pretty helpful. We'll come back when we fix this. And we're back. So it seems like they've moved where you can get the upgrades for this, and instead you can now go to the item upgrade vendor inside of the PvP arena, and you can upgrade the item here. This is a bit strange, but anyway, whatever it is. So there you go. Great little bit of information. So now you can upgrade your piece of gear here, and you will see that it rises up to 385. Now there's a couple benefits to this. Firstly, obviously it's a huge item level upgrade, and it will cost you storm sigils. We can upgrade this piece of gear. Now if we want to, we can actually take this piece of gear to the revival catalyst, which is over here, and we could convert it potentially into a different piece, a set piece if we wanted to. So that's pretty good stuff. I for now am just going to wear these boots because it's great value for me, and we're going to get a little bit of extra haste, which is awesome stuff. So there we go. Fantastic. So that's just a little upgrade for me. Nothing too crazy. I'm going to have to enchant that piece of gear. But let's go to an elemental storm and let's just take a look at the process. So you head to an elemental storm. They'll show up on your map. They're pretty straightforward. What you can also do is if you look under your pre-made groups and you look at custom, you look to find a group, you can actually see that a lot of people will be pulling groups together for elemental storms. Basically the reason being is it helps when you have a little bit of a group going to obviously do just more content. When you see this symbol pop up at the top, that means you are now in a zone influenced by an elemental storm, and you will see a whole bunch of enemies here with this little glowing kind of what would you say, air, like they'll be glowing the appropriate elemental glow. So this indicates air. Obviously if not, they'll be glowing red for fire, etc. So nothing too crazy. Now, generally speaking, just killing the random enemies doesn't drop you that much in the way of valuable rewards. You get a little bit of elemental overflow, usually only like one per enemy. Your big tickets here are going to be when the rares spawn. So while you're inside an elemental storm, there is the chance for rares to spawn. Now, if those rares spawn, or if you take them out, then what happens is you end up getting a substantial amount of elemental overflow, around 50, and you also get quite a valuable amount of chance for a sigil. So you get a chance for a core to drop, and that core can drop you a sigil, which is pretty valuable. So quite frankly, there's a lot of value in running these storms. I think it's a great way to gear up ults. I think it's a pretty chilled way to get your hands on some missing pieces if you're that way inclined. I think it does help out for players who are maybe missing that one piece. I, for example, needed those boots because I just wasn't getting any luck with boots. So it's a great way to pick them up. It's not really that bad. 385 is pretty high up on like the level of gear, I want to say. So picking it up is honestly not a problem. And to be honest, killing the enemies does not take too long, especially if you get a little group together like I have here. So in reality, it's actually pretty relaxed. Elites that you kill will drop, will have a chance to drop cores, and quite frankly, the whole process is pretty simple. You can see here this ancient protector. Whenever a silver rare like this spawns during the elemental storm period, they will have a chance to drop a core, but they will also drop, like I said, quite a sizable amount of elemental overflow. It doesn't take too long to farm elemental overflow, especially if you hang out in an area for a while. I think by staying in one area for the full duration of the storm, you can pretty much guarantee yourself around 1,000, 1,500 elemental overflow. So it's a pretty quick, easy way, especially if you join a group, to get your hands on some good rewards. So from that perspective, it could be a nice way to quickly gear up, or at least fill in the gaps on some of your ults. Like if you're looking at replacing certain pieces of gear, this could be something that's solid when it comes to that. Yeah, I think, at least for myself. Obviously, it's going to depend on you as a player. It's going to depend on how much you enjoy the notion of grinding, because it is definitely a grind. It's not a, it is definitely a grindier bit of content. It's not necessarily something that's super duper easy to do, or that's like not going to test your patience at all. But it is something that does, generally speaking, like not take a lot of thought, not take a lot of admin, and is a good simple process. But yeah, that's it. So you just sit and you farm here, and you'll grab elemental overflow, and you'll be able to eventually gear up your characters or buy yourself a pretty cool looking mount. That's it. There's nothing too crazy. Honestly speaking, it's a very, very simple, straightforward process. And if you're interested in doing it, if you're interested in farming yourself up these mounts, or maybe you're, and there we go, I got my Primal Air Core. So fantastic. I can now hand it in for 2 sigils. And those you can do once per week. So you can only hand in 1 core per week. You can't hand in any others. But yeah, that's basically it. So I spent a little bit of time there, got myself 30 elemental overflow, and realistically it was about 5 minutes. So yeah, simple event, simple stuff, and some great rewards. So if you're interested in it, that's what it entails. There are also some achievements tied to it as well. So if you look under the exploration tab, you can see that there are a whole bunch of different achievements for completing or killing 200 enemies of each type in each zone, which I think is not too difficult to do. So if you're an achievement hunter, there you go. But that's going to be it for me. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.